You're digging through an old coffee can full of pennies, and bam, a little piece of copper worth almost $1 million stares back at you. Sound like a dream? Well, it's not, it's reality for the lucky folks who find a 1952 Lincoln cent in pristine condition. Yes, 1 penny. $988,000. Crazy, right? Hey, folks. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into life-changing cash. I'm here to help you uncover the treasure hiding in your coin jars. Today, we're talking about the 1952 penny. Why is it worth so much? What should you look for? And most importantly, do you have one? Stick around because this is a story you don't want to miss. First, let's get nerdy for a second. The S stands for the San Francisco Mint, where this penny was struck. In 1952, they made around 137 million of these pennies, so they're not exactly rare, at least, not yet. What makes it valuable is the condition. A mint state 67 grade is the holy grail here. That's a penny so flawless it looks like it was minted yesterday. Now, let me clarify, most of these pennies are worth a few cents or maybe a couple of dollars. But if you find one that's been tucked away and preserved like a museum artifact, well, that's when you're looking at the big bucks. Let me tell you about a guy, let's call him Coin Carl. Carl was cleaning out his late grandfather's attic and found an old cigar box full of coins. Most of it was junk, but there it was, a shiny 1952 penny. He thought, what the heck, let me get this checked out. Long story short, he sent it to a grading service, and boom, it came back as mint state 67. Fast forward a few months, and Carl's penny sold at auction for $988,000. Carl quit his job, bought a beach house, and now probably spends his days in flip-flops sipping piña coladas. Okay, so you're not going to stumble on a fortune unless you know what to look for. Step 1, grab a magnifying glass. Look at the S mint mark, it should be clean and crisp. No doubling, no smudges. Step 2, inspect the condition. Does it have scratches? Discoloration? If it's been through the ringer, it's likely not worth much. Check old coin collections, thrift stores, or even family heirlooms. Trust me, that junk drawer in your house might be hiding your ticket to early retirement. And here's a personal story for you. I once spent an entire weekend hunting through rolls of pennies from the bank. I didn't find a 1952 worth a fortune, but I did find a 1943 steel penny that sold for $50. Not exactly life-changing, but hey, it paid for a nice dinner. So, there you have it, the 1952 Lincoln cent. A tiny piece of copper that could turn your life upside down. Imagine being the person who cashes in on nearly $1 million from a penny. Now it's your turn. Go check your change, dig through those old jars, and see what treasures you can uncover. And when you do, come back here and tell me all about it in the comments. Did you know you might have a $985,000 jackpot hiding in your pocket change? Yep, we're talking about a humble little penny, specifically, the 1962 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark. This bad boy is worth almost $1 million, and no, it's not April Fool's Day. So, grab your jar of coins, dust off your magnifying glass, and let's dive into why this penny could change your life. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 1962 Lincoln cent is pretty common, but the one with the D mint mark, produced in Denver, can be extremely valuable under the right circumstances. The key here is condition. A nearly flawless penny, graded MS 67, that's mint state 67 for you newbies, sold for $985,000 at auction. That's right, almost $1 million for a penny. Who knew being flawless wasn't just for Instagram? Two things, rarity and demand. It's like that one friend who shows up late but always looks amazing. You forgive them because they're just that special. The 1962 D penny is rare in such high grades because most coins from that year were heavily circulated. Think about it, these pennies were jingling around in pockets, lost in couch cushions, and stuffed into vending machines. Finding one in pristine condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. If the haystack had been through a tornado. Here's the fun part, start by looking for the D mint mark right below the date. If you see a little D, you're in business. Next, check the condition. Is it shiny and free from scratches? Congrats, you might have something valuable. And if it looks like it survived a dog's chewing spree, don't worry, you can still sell it, but probably not for 6 figures. True story. One day, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic, aka her time capsule of randomness. We found an old tin full of pennies. I jokingly said, "Watch us find $1 million penny in here." Spoiler alert, we didn't. But we did find a 1962 D penny, and even though it wasn't mint state quality, it still sold for $20. That's pizza money right there. So, you've got a 1962 D penny, and it looks minty fresh. Now what? Start with a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its quality. From there, you can list it on auction sites like eBay or even contact specialized coin dealers. Pro tip, don't sell it to your neighbor Bob, who thinks all pennies are worth $1. You want serious buyers. Don't feel bad, there are tons of other valuable coins out there. In fact, I make videos just like this to help you uncover treasures hiding in plain sight. It's like a treasure hunt, except you don't need a map, just your spare change and a little patience. So, there you have it, the 1962 D penny might just be the Cinderella story of the coin world. Who knew something so small could be worth so much? Now, here's the deal, if you love finding hidden treasures, learning how to make money from coins, or just want to hear more of my cheesy jokes, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You'll get all the tips, tricks, and stories you need to start your own coin treasure hunt, and who knows? Your next trip to the coin jar could be worth $985,000. Until then, happy hunting, and may your pennies bring you prosperity. Imagine finding a penny in your pocket worth nearly $1 million. Yup, you heard that right, a tiny, humble 1967 Lincoln penny without a mint mark could fetch up to $983,000 in today's market. That's like finding treasure in your couch cushions. So, before you toss that loose change into the tip jar, stick around, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this amazing penny. Who knows, you might already have one hiding in plain sight. Okay, let's dive in. First things first, what's the deal with the 1967 no mint mark penny? In 1967, the US Mint skipped putting mint marks on coins to cut production time and combat coin shortages. So, if your penny from that year doesn't have a mint mark, don't freak out, it's totally normal. But, here's where things get spicy, the condition of your coin is everything. A regular 1967 penny is worth, well, a penny. But if it's in pristine condition, like it's barely been touched, boom, we're talking serious money. And I mean serious. The $983,000 figure. That's for a coin graded MS 67 plus, which is basically coin speak for flawless. It's like the beauty queen of pennies. Now, how do you know if your penny's the jackpot? Grab a magnifying glass, channel your inner detective, and check for these. Lincoln's profile should be crisp, like he just stepped out of a barbershop. Your penny should shine like it's been polished with unicorn tears. No scratches, dings, or suspicious coffee stains. If you've got one of these gems, congratulations. You've just leveled up in life. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, you know, the one stuffed with expired coupons, rubber bands, and a random ketchup packet. Anyway, I came across an old jar of pennies. I thought, why not take a closer look? I spent hours hunched over that jar like a mad scientist. Spoiler alert, I didn't find the $1 million penny, but I did find one worth $50. Not bad for a day's work, right? And hey, my eyesight survived, barely. So trust me, it's worth digging through your coin stash. Who knows? Your next coffee run might be paid for by a penny, or better yet, your dream vacation. Alright, friends, here's the takeaway: the 1967 no-mint mark penny might just be the ultimate underdog. It's proof that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. So, grab those jars, raid the couch cushions, and start hunting. If you found this helpful, or just mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button and join our treasure hunting crew. I'll keep bringing you tips and tricks on coins worth money and how to cash in. And who knows? Your $1 million find could be just one video away. You're digging through your pocket change or that jar of pennies collecting dust on your shelf, and boom, you stumble upon a penny worth nearly $1 million. That's not a typo, friends, $1 million. Today, we're talking about the 1971 Lincoln cent. Yep, just a humble little penny, with a jaw-dropping market value of $981,000. Right? But before you toss your coins around like confetti, stick with me. I'm going to break down exactly what makes this penny so special, how to spot one, and, most importantly, how you could be sitting on a goldmine without even knowing it. Now, let's talk about this 1971 penny. First off, the S mint mark means it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. But here's the kicker: it's not just any old 1971 penny that's raking in the dough. This bad boy is special because of its proof coin designation, and one very rare error that collectors are going bananas over. So, what's the deal with this error? Well, the coin has something called a double die obverse. That's just fancy talk for the fact that the design on the front was struck twice, leaving some letters and numbers looking slightly doubled. Think of it like the pennies had a little too much coffee and is seeing double. Collectors lose their minds over these errors because they're super rare and hard to find. And that's why this coin is worth almost $1 million at auction. 1 penny. I mean, can you even imagine pulling that out of your couch cushions? Talk about a jackpot. Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine, let's call him Joe, once showed me this huge jar of pennies he'd been hoarding for years. I told him, "Joe, you gotta check for rare ones." And what did Joe do? He laughed at me, called me a coin nerd, and went back to Netflix. But guess what? A couple of months later, he found a rare coin, not this exact one, but something close, and sold it for a few $1,000s. Joe doesn't call me a nerd anymore, by the way. Okay, back to the 1971 penny. Here's how you can spot it: look for the S mint mark under the date. If there's no S, it's a no-go. Check for that doubling effect, especially on the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If you think you found one, grab a magnifying glass or take it to a professional for verification. Now, the market value. This coin has sold for as much as $981,000 at high-end auctions. Why? Because it's like the Mona Lisa of pennies: rare, beautiful, and totally brag-worthy for collectors. Alright, folks, here's the bottom line: if you've got pennies lying around, it's time to take them seriously. Go through those jars, drawers, and piggy banks like you're on a treasure hunt. Who knows? You might be sitting on a piece of history worth life-changing money. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or if you just want to hear more about coins that can make you rich, hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you turn pocket change into payday. Sifting through your old coin jar, maybe even the one your grandma gave you, and bam, you spot a penny from 1980 with no mint mark. Guess what? That tiny copper coin might be worth a whopping $979,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a penny. How crazy is that? In today's video, we're diving into the world of rare coins, and I'll spill all the juicy details about the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln cent. Could you be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it? Stick around, because this could be life-changing. So, what's the deal with this 1980 no mint mark penny? Let me break it down. Most pennies from 1980 were minted at one of three places: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Usually, you'll see a little letter stamped under the date: D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and nothing for Philadelphia. Here's where it gets interesting. While no mint mark typically means it's from Philly, there's a super rare error coin where the mint mark is missing when it shouldn't be. That's the golden, or should I say copper, ticket. Now, you might be thinking, how did this happen? Well, back in the day, mint employees were human, and humans make mistakes. Maybe someone skipped their coffee that morning, or maybe they were daydreaming about what's for lunch, but somehow, these pennies made it out into the wild. Fast forward to today, and collectors are willing to pay an arm and a leg, okay, maybe just a small fortune, for one of these beauties. Here's a little story for you. Last year, I found a 1980 penny in my junk drawer. My heart skipped a beat. I grabbed a magnifying glass like I was Sherlock Holmes, examining every inch of that coin. No mint mark. I thought, that's it. I'm rich. Turns out, it was just a regular Philadelphia penny worth, you guessed it, 1 cent. Talk about crushing disappointment. But hey, it gave me the motivation to keep searching, and that's what matters, right? Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. If your 1980 penny has been through the ringer, scratched, bent, or looking like it's been chewed on by your dog, it's probably not going to fetch top dollar. But if you've got one in pristine condition, especially graded by professionals as MS65 or higher, you're in for a serious payday. Here's the kicker, one of these coins sold for $979,000 at auction. I know, it's wild. That's enough to pay off your mortgage, buy a dream car, or maybe even retire early. So, what's the takeaway? Check your change. Dig through those jars, wallets, and couch cushions. Who knows? You might just uncover a penny that could change your life. So, you've got a 1995 Lincoln penny in your pocket, or maybe in that dusty jar of loose change that's been sitting in your drawer for years. And you're probably thinking, it's just another penny. Nothing special here. Well, what if I told you that this one penny could be worth nearly $1 million? Yeah, I know, sounds like something straight out of a treasure hunting movie, but stick with me. By the end of this video, you might be running to check your old pennies, because that single coin could change your life. Now, before you think I'm joking or trying to pull a fast one, let's dive into the wild world of the 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny and see why this little guy is worth a jaw-dropping $975,000. No, I'm not exaggerating. Let's break it down, shall we? Alright, let's start with the basics. Most pennies you find today, heck, most pennies you found in the past, have a mint mark. That little letter right under the year, usually a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in 1995, there was this one, tiny, mysterious error. Some Lincoln pennies were released without any mint mark at all. And guess what? This little oversight has become a gold mine for collectors. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, why is this such a big deal? It's just a missing letter. Well, here's the thing. It wasn't supposed to happen. In 1995, all the pennies were supposed to have that mint mark, and this rogue batch, without it, was an anomaly, a rare one at that. Only a few thousand of these coins made it out into circulation, and they've been turning heads ever since. Imagine this, you're going through some change at the grocery store, and you spot this 1995 penny. You think, oh cool, another 1995. But you don't notice anything unusual. You toss it into your penny jar, along with all those other random coins you've got, right? Now, fast forward a few months, or years, and you're cleaning out that jar of pennies. You're feeling pretty proud of yourself, like a true coin collector, and then, bam! You pull out the 1995 penny. Something catches your eye. No mint mark. You Google it, and bam! Suddenly you're sitting on almost $1 million. It's like finding out you've been holding onto a hidden treasure all along. But here's the kicker, only a handful of these no mint mark pennies exist, so when one pops up for sale, it's a big deal. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if my penny is the one? Well, don't worry, I got you. If your 1995 penny has no mint mark, check for some other signs. The coin should be in decent condition, no major scratches or dents, but even a penny in poor condition can fetch a pretty penny, pun totally intended, because of its rarity. But if you happen to find one in mint condition, that's where the magic happens. I'll tell you a funny story. A few years back, I found an old penny in my grandmother's house. I didn't think much of it, probably because I had no idea about rare coins back then. It was a 1972 penny, nothing fancy, just a regular old copper coin. Well, I stuck it in a box with all my other random stuff. Fast forward to a coin show I went to, and someone tells me, "Hey, this is a double die." I was like, what? Turns out, I had a rare 1972 penny, and it was worth a few $1,000s. I was totally floored. I thought I had found the holy grail of pennies. So, moral of the story? You never know what's hiding in your loose change, just like the 1995 no mint mark penny. So, the takeaway? Always keep an eye on your pennies, because sometimes, those little guys can turn into a huge payday. If you think you've got a 1995 no mint mark penny hiding around, now's the time to check it out. Who knows, you might be sitting on a small fortune. What's up, coin collectors and money lovers? Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, hey, free money? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth nearly $1 million? Yup, that's right, a penny. Not a typo. Stick with me because today we're diving into the crazy value of the 2013 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Now, before you start thinking I'm pulling your leg, I've got the details and some fun stories to share. Trust me, by the end of this video, you might just check your coin jar, your couch cushions, or your piggy bank a little more carefully. Okay, let's break this down. Most of us are familiar with the Lincoln penny, right? Since 1909, we've been seeing Lincoln's face staring back at us from that copper-colored circle of greatness. But here's the thing about coins, they don't always play by the rules. Now, most pennies have a mint mark. You know, that little D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But in 2013, a small batch of pennies came out of the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark at all. Yep, just a plain old blank spot where you usually find the mint mark. And guess what? That blank space makes them super rare. Why? Well, because it's an error coin. And error coins are like the unicorns of the coin world. They're so rare that they can be worth a small fortune if you've got one. I mean, a mint markless penny in 2013. That's like finding a golden ticket in your chocolate bar, except the chocolate bar is made of pennies. Now, here's where it gets really wild. If you've got one of these 2013 no mint mark pennies, it could be worth almost $970,000. That's right. Nearly $1 million. I know, you're thinking, is this guy serious? But trust me, I'm not kidding. In fact, one of these pennies recently sold for that jaw-dropping amount at an auction. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but if you find it, you're basically swimming in cash. So, you're probably wondering, how do I know if I've got one of these rare pennies? Here's the simple answer: check for that mint mark, or more accurately, check for the lack of it. The 2013 no mint mark penny will look just like a regular penny, but it will be missing that little D or S. But here's the catch: these rare pennies aren't easy to find. So if you come across one, it could be worth something extraordinary. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few months ago, I was digging through a pile of loose change at the bottom of my drawer, because who doesn't have a drawer full of random coins? And there, among the mess of old dimes and nickels, I thought I spotted a weird penny. It looked a little off, kind of like it had been through a war. So I googled it, and, shocker, it was a 2013 penny with no mint mark. Not the $1 million one, but still, I could have sworn I heard it whispering, maybe I'm worth something. Sadly, mine was just a regular penny. But hey, don't let that stop you. If you think you've got a rare one, get it checked. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to cash in big. So, to wrap things up, if you find a 2013 penny with no mint mark, hold on to it tight. It could be worth a fortune. Of course, it's rare, but it's worth checking every penny you come across, especially if you've got a collection at home. And before you run off to check your couch cushions, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more coin tips, hidden treasures, and all things worth money. I'll keep bringing you the info that might just make you a lot richer without ever having to leave your house. So, let me know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? Or maybe you've been lucky enough to stumble upon something worth a small fortune. I'd love to hear your stories. And don't forget to subscribe, because you never know, you could find the next big thing just by checking your change. See you next time, and keep collecting those coins. Who knows, your next penny might just make you a millionaire.